Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Stephen. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Take Care and Live podcast and for watching us here on YouTube or streaming us on one of your other platforms. Going to encourage you to like, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Go ahead. Come on. Go ahead and do it. But I'm excited to connect with you today. Listen, momentum is messy. Momentum is messy. And part of this podcast's job is to help you live, lead, and thrive through the intersections of life. That's what the Take Care and Live podcast is all about. And with that in mind, we're really paying attention to me as a coach, as an executive coach, as someone who's helped people navigate a variety of kinds of conflict. And my job is to help you find the capital that exists in the conflict and then utilize that to help you cultivate momentum. Okay? Now, momentum, as I just said, is messy. There is no straight line to any particular goal or outcome we're looking to achieve, whether it's improving the quality of a marriage, whether it's improving the quality of our communication with a sibling, whether it's advancing our career, whether it's being more effective in how we're taking care of our own emotional state or our physical health. There's usually not a straight line. It usually requires a mix of things happening at once, several shifts happening, some of which we're prepared for, others of which we're not. But what's needed most of all is a commitment to the decision. Momentum is messy. And there's a wonderful scripture in Ecclesiastes 11:4 that says, if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done. And I haven't found that to be more true than I have, even today, right? You can't sit around waiting for perfect conditions. You can't sit around waiting to have all your ducks in a row before you take action. That is not the means by which you will cultivate momentum. Oftentimes people wait for the perfect when perfect itself is subjective. And then when they get the perfect conditions, they end up dissatisfied or remorseful about how long it took for them to finally get traction. Well, that's not the key component. The key component of momentum is not perfection. The key component of momentum is the willingness to embrace the messiness of the moment, because that is what will be required. Now, there is one thing you need to do, and that is be clear about your target. I gave you some examples before, whether it's improving the quality of your relationship, and that quality of the relationship could be how you communicate with one another, whether it's improving your health, maybe that health is weight loss, maybe it's getting your cholesterol down, maybe it's just taking a better care of yourself mentally and creating space for you not to just be preoccupied with work, but to enjoy nature and enjoy the environment around you. Whatever it might be, you have to be specific about it. And once you're specific about the target, you've given the experience of momentum something to go after. So you have to be specific about the target and have clarity that this is what I'm going to be pursuing. Now, once you make that decision, there are three things you need to expect to have a shift. You're going to have to expect to see a shift in your use of time, your use of resources, and you're going to expect to see a shift in geography. A shift in time, a shift in resources, and a shift in geography. I'm going to give you an example of this. Recently, my wife and I decided that we wanted to get our basement redone. We wanted to enhance the space so it became an opportunity for other people to come do community, do life with us, because we believe, life is not just about ourselves, but we want to go ahead and develop and renovate our basement. So what we needed to do first was be clear and specific about the objective. We knew we wanted to renovate the basement. We also knew that we wanted to have that done before the month of May crept up on us. So we were pretty specific about the target time that we had to get it done. With that in mind, because we had that clarity, we could then move ahead and allow the messiness that came with a renovation to begin to unfold. And with that required a shift in time. One was time that was needed to get the project done. There were a couple of windows of time that we had, and we needed to be prepared to make shifts in some of our movement and some of the things we were doing, what we would give access to so that we can have those who are partnering with us to get the work done. to be able to get what they needed and collaborate with us around the plans for executing the project. And so that also meant we had to pay attention to what was going on in our calendar. We had to pay attention to little things like when our little one can get some sleep, at the best time of day, where they wouldn't be disturbed with the noise of the work. We have to pay attention to time. Being prepared to make shifts in time comes with embracing the messiness of the moment that comes with cultivating momentum. You'll need to be prepared to have and experience shifts in time. You also know that renovation projects never really end when you expect them to end. So rather than be obsessed about having a definitive date in which it needs to be done, be clear about the target date by which you would like to have it done, but be flexible and know that you will have to be prepared to shift time, because you will have to have conversations. As you're moving forward and gaining momentum towards something, you'll have conversations. You have a time to step back and assess, is this really what we want to see happen in this area? Is this the vision we have for this or for that? Time is required to help you figure out what you need to do to continue to have momentum and go in the direction and see materialized what you want to see materialized the way that you want it to, right? I had a vision for the lights, I had a vision for the walls, I had a vision for the floors. My wife certainly had a vision for the floors as well, and the feel of the space. And so with that in mind, that required time. It required time to collaborate, time to step back and assess how are things progressing, time to talk about alternatives, and time to really digest, okay, can I live with some of the adjustments we've made? How important is this molding over this paint? How important is this color floor over that color floor? You need time to engage that process, and that's messy. And you have, floors getting torn up, walls getting built, and life happening, and work not stopping on your end, your own work, and life, family growing and needing to be supported. All of those things are happening at the same time. Yet we were committed, we had clarity about this goal, and we're moving ahead. So the necessity of being willing and knowing that you're going to have shifts in time is important. Let's talk about resources. You can't renovate without money, can you? Right? Making momentum in anything is going to require resources of some kind. In some instances, it's going to require money. A lot of times, it'll require money, and somehow you're going to spend it on something. Whether you're renovating a space, whether you are committing to improve a relationship, part of improving relationships is spending time together. You're going to go out. You're going to hang out whether it's with your spouse or a significant other or with just your friends. You're going to spend money, right? You're going to spend money somewhere, on a meal, to see a game. You're going to spend money somewhere. So you're going to need to expect a shift in resources, okay? A shift in resources. That resource can be money. It could also be people. You're going to need to expect a shift in the resources of people. There will be different people you need to do different jobs, just like in a renovation. You don't want everybody doing everything, right? You may have the skill set to handle one element of a job. You might know someone else who has the skill set to handle another element of the job. And you may know someone else who has another skill set to handle another element of the job. You certainly don't want somebody who's great at doing floors do your electrical work, right? You certainly don't want somebody doing your electrical work who really is a master at painting. You want to be aware that you're going to have to be prepared to shift resources. You're going to also, knowing that there's going to be a shift in resources, you'll have to make decisions about where you are putting those resources, right? How much you're allocating for what. If you don't make that kind of decision, then you are not going to be able to make traction in your goal. You'll get stuck, right? There's a decision at every step. There's a decision at every level. There's a decision about using your time. There's decisions about resources. And you'll need to be prepared to pay the cost, no pun intended, of the shift of resources. You'll need people you can leverage, who have the gifts and talents and skills to support you in getting to where it is you want to go, or support you in getting the goal done. And you will need money, because you will need money as a means of either transportation, opportunity to create community and socialize, or to pay the bill, to pay the individuals whom you are partnering with to help you get to the finish line and accomplishing your goal. So you need to be prepared for a shift in time. You'll need to be prepared for a shift in resources. And you'll also need to be prepared for a shift in geography. And sometimes that can be small shifts and larger shifts. So certainly with my home office being in the basement and expecting to get this work done, this renovation done, I could no longer be located in my basement office. I had to find creative ways and places to work as I worked from home. That came with the territory, that came with cultivating momentum to get towards my goal. It was a temporary adjustment, but it was an adjustment nonetheless. Some movement and some means of making progress and gaining momentum towards a specific priority that you have, that you want to see come to fruition, will require you to make some geographic changes, to make some location adjustments. You need to be prepared for that. You won't necessarily always know where that's going to land. I didn't know every single day what would be the best alternative space for me to work from. I did take it as I have some close family and friends of mine that say I did take it line by line. Today it was more optimal for me to work from the living room. Another day it was more optimal for me to work outside. Another day it was more optimal for me to spend a few hours at the coffee shop. You will need to be prepared to make shifts in geography to achieve your goal. Now, for some of us, we have, if your goal, of course, is running a marathon in Boston, hey, you're going to travel there, aren't you? Right? That's your goal. You're clear about it. You want to gain momentum in it, so you can definitely practice and running in your current geography. But if you're going to run that race in Boston, you're going to go to Boston and you're going to run that marathon, right? So momentum requires a shift in time, resources, and geography. And if you are going to expect to see progress in whatever it is that you have been setting your mind to see yourself grow in, to see flourish, to see be cultivated, so that you can get the most out of it possible, then you have to be comfortable with the messiness of the moment that cultivating momentum creates. Whenever you are doing a reset of your priorities, it's messy. You know how you clean a chaotic desk? You move one pen at a time. You throw away one piece of paper at a time. You put one book away at a time back on the shelf. And each step is a step in the movement towards gaining momentum. Each of those actions, even in relation to cleaning off a desk, requires a shift in time, a shift in your resources, right? Because somebody's got to do it. Definitely going to be human capital. It's likely going to be you, unless you have somebody else who's going to do it for you. But it's going to require a shift in resources, and it's going to require a shift in geography. You're going to have to move from the desk to the bookcase if you're going to relocate that book back to where it needs to be. Even in its simplest form, gaining momentum on anything requires that you be prepared for making those shifts. The bigger the investment, and the bigger the cause, the bigger the goal, yes, the bigger the shifts, the greater the shifts. And so it's okay to be intimidated by the size of the vision that you have and the goal that you have. You don't need to have it all figured out at once. We got to the point where today we've gotten the work done on our renovation project, but we didn't have the final product already mapped out. We had a vision for it. We had ideas for it. We knew that that we were clear about what it is that needed to be the end product, right? Something that was finished. But it was the one action at a time, one step at a time that we engaged in the reallocating and the shifting of time, resources, and in the geography, our movement, our physical location from time to time is what we saw help to bring to fruition what it is we have now. So this example might seem pretty minute to you, but I want you to contextualize this for your own circumstance. In what area of your life are you looking to gain traction? Where are you looking to reset your priorities? What steps do you need to take? What do you need to clarify as your target? What is it that you need to be sure about that you want to see improved or cultivated or lived out in your life so that you can enhance your impact in whatever sector it is, your personal life, your professional life, your own self-care, your own mental well-being, whatever it might be. Consider what that is and then be prepared for the shifts. But also, let go of the notion that you need perfect conditions before you actually can execute on it. Because again, just like that passage of scripture says, if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done. And oftentimes, what's released to you over time as a result of your commitment to execute are the time, the resources, and the geographic locations that you may need to use as a temporary home base or as the opportunity to do the expansion on what it is you want to see come to life in your life and even in the life of others. You won't experience those things sometimes until you just go ahead and embrace the messiness of the moment and expect to not have everything be perfect. So I hope this was helpful for you and that you're able to figure out as you think about your life, the key priority that you need to reset or the key goal that you want to execute on, and be prepared to make those shifts in time, resources, and geography. I want to share something with you. I've recently written a book. It's called The Momentum List, Rediscover How to Delight in Time Rather Than Be Mastered by It. This is a hard copy of the book. It's also available in paperback as well as in digital formats wherever books are sold. I'm going to invite you to buy the book. I think the book will be transformational for you if you have been someone who struggled with allowing your time to be dictated to by other people's priorities, and you've lost a sense of what it is that helps you be ignited for each and every day. What are the few things that you need to reprioritize and reset that become the igniters for your day so that then you can go about the business of serving others well and doing it without resentment, without hesitation, because you've known you've done your part to set the stage for cultivating the momentum in your life in the areas that matter to you most. This book will be game-changing for you. I give some great strategies. I give you a framework that you can utilize to help you transform even a simple to-do list into a momentum list, help you identify what really matters and what doesn't, and then so you can and give you some guidance on how you execute on it. The book was intended to be a short read so that you can utilize it, use the tools, read it, utilize the tools, and then begin to see how you can maximize each and every moment as a result of what you take away from it. Again, it's available wherever books are sold. Would love it if you would buy a copy of it, and if you enjoyed it, would certainly love you to give that 5-star review on Amazon or Goodreads, whichever is up to you. Nevertheless, remember that you are the one who has the ability to set the stage and reset the table for any of the challenges that you face in life, because your job, as I encourage everyone else to do each and every day, is to take care and live.